And then we're gonna have to now that we're live, once we get people in, we're gonna have to go over the butt kicking that you took.
Yeah, that kind of upset me.
Dude, everything you picked you lost on.
People are the worst.
I mean, or do you just have bad taste?
It's probably that.
As long as you understand it.
I always think everybody should agree with me at all times.
Yeah, that's obviously not happening well.
No, it's not.
um, you got your shirt quickly.
Yeah, why are we so color coordinated again?
I've got on purple. It looks blue because of the light, but it's purple.
Yeah, we look like a couple of goofballs.
Give Kids the World sweatshirt. One of the most comfortable sweatshirts I've ever owned in my life.
I didn't get one of those.
Did you go to the Village?
No, but I went to visit, was it Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
I went to visit him at the Princess.
Oh, yeah, no, I bought this with my own money. Like, at Give Kids the World, they have a store, and I just went bananas in there, and I love sweatshirts, and I was like, ooh, sweatshirts.
It's always nice where you know the money's going somewhere good.
Yeah, that's where, like, because I dropped $200 and some odd in that store, but I never felt guilty for 1 minute. I was buying things I had no, like, I bought a koozie. I don't use koozies. No. I drink out of a rocks glass if I drink anything. So, oh man, humans. Okay, so, yeah, I guess we can just in a second start. I mean, whatever. Obviously, I have not put together the reel yet. It's been a little bit of a tough time, but I'll still announce them.
Do it.
And trying to answer that. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I'd like to first formally ask you, I like that one better, to follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, both Behind the Ears Podcast. Twitter is Behind the Ears PC. Any listener questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, Rudy runs a fantastic group with, I think close to 40, just coming up on 40,000 members. And that is the Crazy for Disney page, as well as I run the WDW community Facebook page. So go check them out if you're not part of them. And lastly, I would like to say, booking rooms can be a real pain in the butt. You're trying to sit there and figure out which room is the best, which room offers what, how do I get closer to the front? And then comes those pesky ADRs. Who wants to wake up at 6 a.m. to sit on the phone and try to get a perfect dinner? Or maybe, you know what, you're lazy and you're like me. I don't enjoy doing fast passes. I think it's stressful. Maybe that's because I wait till the last minute. But our friends over at Kingdom Destinations, they can help you take care of all of that. They actually have a setup right now on the Crazy for Disney page. If you are attending the November meetup for the Crazy for Disney group, you can go right in there and you could just go right into a block of rooms they have set aside for you guys. So why don't you check them out at Kingdom Destinations? With that being said, that concludes the intro. I am Uncle Danny. The man with the bug shirt is Rudy. I'd like to see if he has any other fantastic little tidbits of little gems like he dropped last week. I do want to point out that I destroyed Rudy in almost in every single poll that we put out there. Rudy got demolished, so it shows that his followers don't like him as much. Yeah, you just take a sip, relax.
Or they're as simple as you are.
That's true. We also did a little housekeeping inside of our March Madness bracket. If you missed it, head on back to episode 368, 367, something like that. That was round one of the March Madness tournament we did. And if you listen to that episode, you find out that we kind of fell short of a couple rides. And so I started putting hotels in there and other little things. And everything was running smooth. And then I got a lot of slack this morning. One of my polls.
Add something when you keep saying we.
Okay.
You just mean the podcast.
Well, yeah, I did the work. Rudy just shows up. No, me and Rudy do very different things. This was something I had set up. I had messed it up a little bit. And then I've been posting the polls every day and got slammed. So what we decided to do is kind of alter it a little bit. I know because we're only through round one. So anything that advanced, for example, like one of the polls was Grand Floridian or Frozen. Grand Floridian crushed Frozen, but we thought it was unfair. So everything in the second round is all rides. So we won't have any issues. So going through from last week, the first thing we had up for poll discussion was Rudy's vote for Muppets 3D versus my vote of Country Bear Jamboree. And Country Bear Jamboree destroyed Muppets
Really
3D.
didn't.
It destroyed it. You want to talk about something else that got destroyed? Rudy's fan favorite Peter Pan flight got crushed by Expedition Everest.
Now, when you say crushed, what do you mean crushed? Did you do both sides?
Yes, I added them both up. And now, granted, there could be duplicates if you voted on both pages, but Expedition Everest beat you by like 60 votes.
Can you have Lindsay recheck your math? Because God only knows what's going on.
Well, I get 2 votes, you get no votes. So, for every 2 I get, you get none. So that's how I do my math. So they will advance there on that one. Then we had, like I told you, we switched Frozen with the Grand Floridian, so that wasn't a problem. Turtle Crush did sneak by a lot closer than I thought it was over Barnstormer. That one was an interesting matchup. We thought that was going to be the most interesting one. Voyage of the Little Mermaid and Jungle Cruise. Surprisingly, I lost. Voyage of the Little Mermaid won by 2 votes.
Is that the ride?
That's the show. The show.
You literally just got done telling everybody everything in there would be a ride, and then you throw a show in there.
Well, all right. No, well, that's an attraction. I don't care what you say. That's an attraction. I meant we took out like ride vehicle, like the monorail or hotel.
I don't even know why everybody got upset at you, because I mean, if you ask a 5-year-old to drive you to work and you get in a car accident, it's not the 5-year-old's fault. It's you asking the 5-year-old. So don't get upset at Danny. You got to understand what he's all about. You get what you get.
Fair enough. So we did eventually have to put the Grand Fiesta Tour above Poly. So that's it. So what we have here is the second round. This is our second biggest round outside of the first round. And we have in this order, Test Track going up against Thunder Mountain, the Country Bear Jamboree going against Rock and Roller Coaster. This is an interesting one. Slinky versus Toy Story Mania, both Toy Story. Then this is another heavy hitter. Flight of Passage versus Expedition Everest. Cali versus Space Mountain. Cali River Rapids, obviously. Safari versus Under the Sea, the Kilimanjaro Safari. And Under the Sea is the ride, Rudy. Rudy's favorite ride,
I gotta write that down.
Carousel of Progress up against Dumbo.
Yes.
Frozen versus Soarin'. That's another interesting one. Then moving over to the South Division, Turtle Crush versus Buzz Lightyear. Rise of the Resistance versus Haunted Mansion. Voyage of the Little Mermaid versus Tower of Terror. Dinosaur versus Pirates of the Caribbean. That's an interesting one. Here's a good one. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train versus Splash Mountain. All right, this next one. You want to talk about those 2 relaxing rides that I go on? The People Mover versus the Railroad. That's a tough one.
There's a lot of tough ones. And
then here's 2 slow rides back to back. Grand Fiesta Tour versus Living with the Land. And then we end with the spaces. Mission Space versus Spaceship Earth. That's tough.
There's a lot of tough ones in there. There's one that's really going to hurt me tonight, though.
Oh, I'm curious to see when we get to that, which one that is. Are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. All right. So first up on the board, it is Test Track versus Thunder Mountain Railroad.
I wish I kind of saw these ahead of time and did my homework.
No, you can't. No. This is because I didn't see them before. I mean, I kind of knew I had an interesting idea, but
boy, those are real close.
They are very close.
Yeah, I'm gonna still have to go towards a Big Thunder Mountain though.
Okay.
And you know what I love is when you catch Big Thunder Mountain during the fireworks. Have you ever done that before?
Oh, yes.
That's amazing.
This one's a tough one for me because I'm not the biggest fan of Big Thunder Mountain, but I do really enjoy it at night. There's an added feature to being on a roller coaster outside at night. I want to say Test Track, but I truly believe the new Test Track is terrible. I miss the hot and cold room.
let's be honest, you're basically just there for that 65-mile-per-hour
That's
ride
it.
around outside.
That's it. And just to look at the cars when you're going around that giant circle. Honestly, the inside has become very herky jerky. I mean, it always
Yeah.
kind of was, but it feels worse. So I'm actually gonna I can't believe we're gonna start off this way. Thunder Mountain is gonna advance to the Sweet 16, ladies and gentlemen. That
Joey's agree with me.
no, there's something wrong if I'm agreeing with you. Now, this one I think is going to be a landslide, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Unfortunately, we have the Country Bear Jamboree up against Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah. Let's get rid of that thing already. Just
The,
kill it off right now.
the clickety clack of their eyeballs are going to die in the second round because Rock and Roller Coaster is going to clearly advance to the Sweet 16. So, right there in the Sweet 16, we have two roller coasters going head to head. Very interesting. All right, this one is going to be tough. Slinky versus Toy Story Mania.
I don't even know where to go with that because Slinky, I think, is my favorite roller coaster at the park.
Really?
Just because it's so smooth and it's kind of kid friendly.
Okay.
But boy, Toy Story Mania, I love.
Mm-hmm.
Anything with like competition, because I'm like a competition freak. So
yeah.
Like I'm not one of those parents that'll like let my kids win. Like I'm looking to destroy my daughter. I don't care. So
I'm gonna bury you.
Seriously, like I don't even want to beat them. I want to destroy them. I'm gonna go with Toy Story Mania, and it hurts.
Yeah, I enjoy Slinky. It's another roller coaster I would definitely say is better at night. Don't ride in the rain. Really hurts in the rain. That rain just pelting you in the face. First-hand knowledge of that. But yeah, I'm going to say Toy Story Mania just because I think it's one of the most interactive rides that Disney has to offer. And it's one of those where, unlike Buzz, where I feel like some of the guns need to be recalibrated or you really can't see your dot very well and there's a lot going on, I like the fact that it's head-to-head with you and only the person next to you. And you kind of know whose rings or whose balloons or whose darts is what. And it seems to be a little more calibrated better. So I'm going to agree with you again and go with Toy Story Mania. I have a feeling we are going to, I don't know. This one's tough. Flight of Passage versus Expedition Everest.
Yeah, to me, Flights of Passage, I mean, because we should really be considering like the whole area, like the queue and all that as well, and what leads up to the ride. So
you don't like ringing the bell on Expedition Everest?
Who cares? Ring a bell. Jesus. Such a child.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely have to go to Flights of Passage on that. And same thing with like when we were talking about Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania. Mm-hmm. Like how lazy was that queue area at Slinky Dog?
One of the worst queues I have ever seen inside Disney.
And so much sun too. I can remember doing that in the summertime last year, and it was brutal.
Oh yeah. I mean, they put these industrial fans out there. I'm like, you guys built an outside attraction in Florida. Like, you understand, like, okay, part of the queue could be outside, but your entire queue is outside. And the worst is if there's a line that starts downpouring, you've got two options: get soaked or leave, because there's very little. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're gonna get soaked no matter where you go. Going back to this one, I really think Flight of Passage is one of the most immersive rides Disney has to offer, but Expedition Everest, I think, is one of the best roller coasters they have. So I gotta tip my hat and I gotta say Expedition Everest. So I think we're gonna have our first disagreement right there. And
you're gonna get killed on that one.
I truly believe I am gonna get smoked on this one. But I also thought I was gonna lose the Peter Pan one. So
I can say right now I'm very disappointed with our fans that they actually voted off Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I feel like a disappointed father. Like, what is wrong with you kids?
To Expedition Everest, too. Now, would you have felt different with Flight of Passage going up against a Peter Pan?
No.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't matter.
Okay, so it wouldn't matter then.
No.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next one. We have the Kali River Rapids versus Space Mountain.
I got to go with Kali River. Although I really do love Space Mountain. And like I said, if you do it Christmas time, it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's something about water rides I love, especially it's like during a real hot day, kind of cool off a little bit. And even though that one's short and the theming's a little I would definitely take it over Space Mountain.
I enjoy Cali. I wish Cali would let me get a little more wet at times. It's like
Yeah.
either one person gets soaked and nobody else gets anything. I think the ride needs some more decorations or things to look at. I think it's a very boring ride outside of like what's going on inside the ride vehicle. I think that queue is tremendously boring. It looks like it belongs in Six Flags. Even though I have trouble fitting inside Space Mountain, the thrill factor of it is way too much for me. And I'm it's hard for me to say it, but I think Space Mountain is going to get my nod. So that's going to be back to back that we don't agree on. And I think that one you might lose on.
You must get tossed around like a rag doll in that thing.
Oh yeah, it's just I come off with, whiplash and my back is aching. I can't really walk for a little while.
I sound ridiculous in that thing too. I must sound like a 12-year-old girl. Like,
oh yeah, I scream the entire whoop 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 whoop. And I want to put my hands up, and I know I've got clearance for it, but I still get very scared to put my hands up. No. Oh gosh. Okay, moving on to the next. We have the Safari versus Little Mermaids Under the Sea, which is the ride.
I think I have to go with the Safari, even though I go on Little Mermaid more often. Safari is just a much cooler experience, even though I don't do it a lot. And we discussed it because I'm panicky about being on something for a half hour. I got to definitely go with the Safari.
As much as I think Under the Sea is one of the best dark rides, I would say top 3 inside Disney, and I know there's not a lot of them. I'm going to have to go with Safari, and this is simply because it's something different every time. Now, you could say, Danny, you're just looking at animals. Yes, but it's always different animals. They have different routes they can do, and different times of the day you get to see different animals. And I mean, is the ride comfortable? No. Do you need a good person to drive? Yes. Is the sound system in all those trucks shot? Of course. But I truly enjoy the Safari, so I'm going to say the Safari is going to move on to the Sweet 16 for me.
Now, Jim brought up the evening. Have you ever been on in the evening? Because I haven't.
I have not been on in the evening. I have been on early in the morning, but I'm never in Animal Kingdom late enough.
And the other problem, too, is it's usually really busy in the evening, so I usually avoid it at all costs.
I mean, I would love to see like a sunset while you're on that. That's got to be absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if they're still offering this. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Weren't they offering like a nighttime safari too?
Yeah, they had like little lights going on, but I've heard that you don't see that many animals when you're out there.
Yeah, so, you're more listening for, I guess, the roar of the lions. I guess that's when they're notorious for doing that.
I mean, I would like to do it. I just haven't got around to it. I'm a slacker.
And Jim also says they have a fake sunset out there.
What does that even mean? How do you do a fake sunset? That's a pretty big undertaking to get a fake sunset.
A giant green screen out there. I don't know. Jim, let us know. You watch the comments. You let me know if he says anything. All right, here we go. Rudy's favorite ride. Carousel of Progress going up against Dumbo.
You know, it was funny because we didn't have Dumbo on in the original round.
No, we did not.
Which is a very underrated ride, nostalgia-wise. I'm going to get a lot of heat for this because I know a lot of people are going to say Carousel of Progress just to annoy me. But, I mean, Dumbo is a fun ride to do with your kids. It's been around forever. It's got the cool little tent on it. Stop shaking your head at me. You know I'm right.
You're so wrong.
I'm going with Dumbo.
Oh, God. It's a spinning attraction. Nobody cares about a spinning attraction. I want to sit down and I want to hear that beautiful tune of "It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow." And each generation. Oh, did you see that?
What was that?
I went to go move my hand because I talked my hands.
Earthquakes in New Jersey.
Oh, God. Each generation has a different tune of that song, too. So Carousel of Progress is absolutely getting my vote, and I feel like I'm gonna keep putting Carousel of Progress through depending on who it goes up against, and you're always gonna go against it. So I should just start the day off with, okay, we disagree on Carousel of Progress, let's start off.
Look at all these people saying and this is one of my pet peeves with Disney people, and don't get mad at me, Disney people. Like everybody will say like that is their favorite ride. There's never a wait time. It's not your favorite ride. If there's a 180-minute wait,
but that's not fair because it's a continuous ride. They're
Stop it.
loading people in. You just, oh, okay, hold on. The other day, there was a picture on your page with the amount of people standing out front, and you made a comment on it. So there are days that there's lines for it.
Yeah, because I think everybody was getting out of the rain. I don't think it was going on the
I
ride.
think that was the people mover kind of slammed into each other, so they had nowhere to go.
See?
Anyway, Carousel Progress versus Dumbo will go into a vote. Here's another good one here. This is a tough one. Frozen versus Soarin'.
Oh, that's another one that's going to hurt me. I didn't even catch that one in the beginning. I'm a big fan of Soaring, but I'm going to give it to Frozen because at least Frozen's the same experience every time. With Soarin', if you get one of like the lower seats and off to the end, and you got to see like the bent mountain and the bent leading tower, or not the leading tower Pisa, the Eiffel Tower, it looks so bad. So I mean, unless you're like in that premium middle or upper seat in the middle, I'm definitely going with Frozen.
I'm gonna
both.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Frozen, simply because I think the new generation of Soarin', the new attraction of it, I don't like the film cuts. And you are right. If you don't get a premium seat on that, you're kind of SOL. Meanwhile, on Frozen, there really is no bad seat.
Such good music.
But I will say, you can walk up to Soarin'. Now, there's gonna be a wait, but that wait is never, ever, ever as bad as Frozen's wait. So those are rides I think you both need fast passes for. But if I'm going to burn a fast pass, it's definitely going to be on Frozen.
Which is funny because you get that same argument from the old schoolers like, oh, so much better as Maelstrom. I miss Maelstrom.
It's the same ride as Maelstrom. That's unfair.
But you could walk onto Maelstrom. You can walk onto Frozen. So somebody's lying out there.
You think Carousel of Progress is a walk on Maelstrom? You barely even knew the attraction was there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let it go. And we're going to put Frozen through.
You did not just do that.
And I've never seen the movie. Okay. Turtle Crush made a nice little run beating out Rudy's Barnstormer this afternoon, but it runs into the buzzsaw of Buzz Lightyear spin. Oh my God, I am all over the puns.
Yeah, it's so bad. I'm sticking with Buzz. I mean, I'm a fan of Turtle Crush. It's kind of cool, but like we don't even do it every time we go down there. I don't think I've done it in like 3 years.
I love Turtle Crush, but to me, Turtle Crush, you need the right cast member running it, or it's not going to be as good. Buzz Lightyear, I will admit, definitely needs an overhaul with the guns and everything. But Buzz is
like a dirty ride, doesn't it? Like if
you feel like, very grimy getting off of that ride.
Compared to Toy Story Mania, you get on Buzz, it's like.
Up a little bit. You look around, you're like, am I at a carnival? Yeah. Where am I?
Still love it though.
Oh, absolutely. And mediocre queue, but at least it's a nice short queue once you're inside.
Yeah, it's not a bad queue on the inside.
Mediocre at best.
It's got that buzz on it. You must get all excited when you see him.
Yeah, it's a creepy head on him though, because they want it to move and everything instead of being a stationary head. We had
pictures going in our group last year when they had the couple of blackouts inside of the park where the power went out.
Yeah.
And that thing looks so creepy when the power's out and there's no face on it.
Just a body.
I think it was Barry. It was the one that took the picture, and like the cast member like bolted towards it and covered it up. Like they don't even want people seeing it when it's not working.
I will say the Zurg, Emperor Zurg on the outside is pretty cool, locked up behind the thing. I just wish I can get in there and take a picture with him, but I'm too fat. I'm too fat. I can't fit between the bars. Don't think I haven't tried. This one is going to be so painful because I haven't ridden one of them. And the other one's a classic. Rise of the Resistance versus Haunted Mansion.
Now, are we allowed to kind of like steer our people in a certain direction? Because I got to fight for this one. Haunted Mansion is one of my favorites. That's a classic. And we talked about it last week. It holds up. Like they could open it tomorrow and it still looks like a pretty legit new ride. But Rise of the Resistance is beyond anything I've ever been on. And I'm pretty fair on this stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'll take the Star Wars factor out of it. Like, I know some people when they see the AT-AT don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
But, like the scale of it, the fact that it's almost like 3 rides in one. The animatronics are amazing. The cast members do a phenomenal job in there with their acting. Rise of the Resistance is a better ride. And I see people saying Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, you're getting kind of toasted right now.
It's going to aggravate me because, listen, I am one of the biggest Haunted Mansion fans out there, but Rise of the Resistance is a better ride. It just is.
Unfortunately, I have to go with Haunted Mansion. I would have picked it going up against basically anyone else, but the thing is, I haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance. I have watched the ride through on on the computer. It's not the same, and I could tell you it's not the same because I see the things and I'm like, oh, that probably looks amazing in person. I haven't ridden it yet, so this one is simply going to go down to a vote. And this is one I won't feel bad if Rise of the Resistance beats Haunted Mansion, but you need to understand this could go the other way. There is Haunted Mansion faithful, and this is your pick to win it. Like, I know this is one, especially if it goes out this round. I think you would be upset if it lost in another round, but if it loses this early on, you're gonna die because if it doesn't get as far as Carousel Progress, you might never come back on the show.
It should not lose to anything. And Haunted Mansion, it's an awesome ride. And I know all the history and all that nonsense, but Rise of Resistance is literally the best ride in any park anywhere. And just so you know how fair I am, I used to think it was Harry Potter's Gringotts.
Yeah.
And I hate Harry Potter. Like, I don't have that wow factor. Like, my daughter sees Harry Potter, she's like, oh my God. I could care less about Harry Potter. I can't stand those movies. But those rides in that area are amazing. And that's how I feel about, like, Star Wars. Like, if I take the wow factor out for me as being a fan, like seeing whatever, that's I put that aside. Just the scale of that ride and what they did with it, it's like such a technological achievement. You gotta vote for Rise of Resistance. I'm gonna fight every one of our fans that votes for Haunted Mansion.
It's gonna be tough because you have people like me who are gonna vote for Haunted Mansion, but we've never been on Rise of the Resistance. I mean, you have to vote on people like Carolyn, who says, I won't vote since I haven't written it yet. Those are the people you need to just stay out of it and not vote for Haunted Mansion.
Yes,
it's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough because it's not like any other ride, Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion has a following.
Yeah, but there's nobody getting up an hour before park opening to wait to get on Haunted Mansion. I mean, Rise of the Resistance.
Because it's not brand new. Give it 2 years, people are not going to be waking up that early to go on it.
Yeah, they will.
I will put money on it.
Well, I mean, the one problem is that they can't get that many people on per day. So I think the demand is going to be out there for a few years at least. What is that?
Kylo Ren may replace the dad in Carousel Progress.
I would love that. Put Darth Vader in there and I'll start liking Carousel Progress.
I'll start writing it all the time. All right, obviously I'm going to vote for Haunted Mansion, so that one is going to go up against for a vote. This one I think it should be a landslide. Voyage of the Little Mermaid, it is the show up against Tower of Terror.
Yeah, as much as Tower of Terror scrambles my brain, did Tower of Terror get knocked out the last round?
No, Tower of Terror beat the Mad Tea Party.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta go with Tower of Terror. That's a really cool queue.
Best queue, one of the best. No, I will say, best queue inside Disney.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, that's a ride you don't really think about with the cast members, but there's a couple cast members in that ride that act super creepy and add so much to that ride. So to the ones that really put a lot of effort in,
yeah,
kudos to you guys, because you make a ride that doesn't even need you that much better.
Yeah. Man, ooh, that queue, man, that queue gets me every time. I love it. And because there's so many little details that I still find it, 20 years later going to Disney, I'm like, oh, I never noticed that right there.
See, now I'm gonna make you mad because I'm gonna say they need a Guardians of the Galaxy overlay.
Rudy's done for the night, guys. He's just done. He's gonna go home. You're done. Anyway,
just saying.
You are a terrible human person. This one is tough. Dinosaur versus Pirates of the Caribbean. And Pirates of the Caribbean beat out your Tough to Be a Bug, but we did get a fantastic shirt out of it. So
we really did.
A little butt tickling going on.
Yeah, I still gotta go Pirates. Pirates is like Haunted Mansion. There's 2 rides in Disney that I like, one of the older ones, one of the originals that still hold up to this day, and Caribbean's one of them. So I gotta go.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna disagree. No, I
No, you
can't.
are not.
I really like Dinosaur, but my argument against Pirates can be literally said the same way against Dinosaur. I
So
think both
here's my argument with
rides need
that
an
is,
update.
you have you ever been to Universal?
Yeah,
Have you ever been on ET?
yeah,
ET is literally the biggest piece of trash on the planet, and I know there's like Universal lovers that like that's like a class. You know, they try
it
to
is a
put it in
classic. It's a great ride, but yeah,
but you look at the animatronics on like the police officers and stuff on ET compared to the animatronics on Carousel Progress. It looks like those rides were open like 50 years apart the other way. Like you would think that Pirates was the new ride. That's a
very
pretty
true.
legit ride for as old as it is. It holds up
Yeah,
really well.
how would you like to be in that water?
Uh, I would still take that one over Jungle Cruise.
Really? Because
Oh yeah,
Jungle Cruise is outside.
yeah. There's some funk in that Jungle Cruise water.
I don't know, man. There's some that Pirates of the Caribbean water's got a smell to
It
it.
can't, it
You
can't
just
be
know,
good.
you know you're at home. Oh man. All right. Yeah, you convinced me. I'm gonna go Pirates on that one. Just strictly on the nostalgic factor of it. All right. Next up, we have a newer ride versus a classic. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train going up against Splash Mountain.
Hmm. Um, Boy, see, this is one where I'm just letting my like nostalgia factor creep in. Splash is one of my favorite rides ever. Um, but if I had a choice to go on one or the other, it'd probably be Seven Dwarfs. I still gotta go with Splash though. I shouldn't, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Splash.
I am going to go with Splash. I think Splash would have been a runaway for me in this division, but the lap bar truly changed everything
Does
for
that hit
me.
you at this point? I mean, are you that big that the lap will
No, I just don't like it. You know what it is? There was a thrill factor when you were on that ride, knowing nothing was holding you down when you went down that drop. Now they have that stupid lap bar, and I'm like, I can't die. The die factor is not
let,
there.
let's be honest though, that lap bar's not holding you back. If you're gonna go, you're gonna go. You particular.
I mean, you could hold on to it though.
That's true.
I do like the swinging carts of Seven Dwarfs, but honestly, the reason Seven Dwarfs doesn't get my vote is it's one of the most uncomfortable rides I've ever been on. I
It,
know
it
I'm a bigger guy, but my fiance is not a big woman at all. She's very petite, and
I think
she's not comfortable on it.
well, the biggest issue with that is the way it cramps your legs together.
Yeah,
Like that lap
yeah,
bar is so tight.
and it's
Um,
right on like the side of my kneecaps.
but they did such a cool job of incorporating that dark ride factor into a roller coaster, which is like one of my main complaints about Slinky Dog. Is Slinky Dog should have done the same thing. And could you imagine
What
going
been
through Slinky,
inside
having like an indoor area where they had
aspect
like,
of it?
yeah, I mean that would have been awesome instead of just having it like a regular
Well,
roller
you
coaster.
can blame your fans of Star Wars because you guys rushed the Toy Story park
Well,
aspect of it.
Star Wars, you got to get Star Wars done.
Man, Toy Story is better. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with Splash Mountain here. Um, and I still think Splash Mountain can make a real run in this division because as we are now in the Midwest division, going through this, you watch, there's no heavy hitters. There is a very good chance that Splash makes it to the Final Four.
It's literally one of my favorite rides, and that's another one where if you catch it at night with the fireworks, that's very cool as
Oh,
well.
that must be cool when you're going down to catch some fireworks.
Yeah. See, I'm
I
not a
do, yeah.
fireworks guy, so I hit the rides at night.
What's smart though?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, you get on
it's big,
anything you
Danny.
want. Well, I mean, yeah, that head can't get any bigger, so calm it down. All right, here's a really tough one, and it's going to sound silly that it's going to be as tough as it is. But this one, seriously, when I saw it tonight, I've been thinking about it all night because I don't know how to vote on this. People Mover versus the Railroad.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, that kind of got me.
Yeah, like because I love them both so much, and they are one of the most identical rides that we've really had to compare so far.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Here, all right. So before you vote, this is my only thing. Now, granted, People Mover's down right now, but it's only been down for 2 days. Consistently, the railroad has been down. That is my biggest knock on the railroad.
Yeah, but you can't really throw that in if you're just like if you're comparing rides that are actually up and running and doing whatever.
Yeah, but it's not up and running. So how do we have, I mean, it's been down for how long? Now, granted, this time around it was for Tron. I get it. But I mean, it was down for like a year and a half with refurbishment.
I literally, I mean, those are like a tie.
Yeah, it's I don't literally. I think we should bring it to a vote because I can't
Yeah,
vote.
we should, because I can't. I would say I might lean a little bit more towards People Mover,
Me too.
like on a hot day, because they got the the indoor
A little bit
factor and stuff,
inside, yeah.
and it's a well, I shouldn't even say it's longer because you could stay on the train as long as you want.
As long as
Uh,
there's not a long line, yeah, they'll let you stay. But
but
technically, the railroad, you don't have to get off either. It's an entire loop. They don't force you off.
no, let's put it up to a vote.
Yeah,
I don't
we
want to
would
be.
put,
I don't be the
yeah.
one to get rid of one of them.
I will take a wild shot in the dark here, not only judging by what I see in the comments. It's railroads getting a few votes, but I really think that People Mover will get voted for because I think it's like Chris says, how many people have never seen the railroad running
Yeah,
or never knew it was really a thing?
but it's such a cool ride, though. Like as
But
far
it's a
as like,
terrible spot. I mean, you're either walking through a smoking section, which people wouldn't want to do, or you got to go by the splash pad or in the circus area. And if you don't have young kids, why are you going through there?
yeah,
So to me, it serves a disadvantage there. But all right, we'll send that to a vote. I do believe People Mover will get the vote. But okay, talk about slow rides. The Grand Fiesta Tour versus Living with the Land.
it's embarrassing like that. I actually have to like talk about the slow rides because I love them so much now. Like,
Yeah, dude, that's all I do now. I don't really go on very
yeah,
many
like
fast rides anymore.
20-year-old Rudy would slap the
Oh
hell out
yeah,
of
yeah. 20-year-old me, I'd be front row, everything, trying to unbuckle seatbelts. Me now, I'm like, where's a chair?
me. To land and take a break.
is there a is there a bench anywhere?
Living with the Land. What was the other one?
Grand Fiesta Tour. The Three Caballeros.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Living with the Land because the Three Caballeros is kind of played out, and that would be so much better with like a
Coco.
overlay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so obvious. Why is Disney waiting to do that?
And I mean, and you walk in that front lobby of Mexico Pavilion, it is Coco themed.
Yeah,
They've got Coco stuff on the kiosks, like in the middle, like the little shops they have. I mean, I usually go in there just for the tequila and the food, but yeah,
that's
I mean,
right there.
now to be fair though, every time I'm in there, I do go on the Grand Fiesta Tour.
You know what? It's a very cool look. Like when you're going between the pyramid and the restaurant, it's beautiful.
Have the
But then, like,
stars up above, yeah.
yeah, but once you get into that ride and you start dealing with like some of that poor acting, like when
Oh yeah. Oh
it's
god, they're showing pictures of like Mexico from like 1986,
yeah,
and you're like, oh guys, this is changed.
yeah, I think you gotta go with the Land, and the Land was kind of cool because during Christmas time they put Christmas lights in it.
Oh
So
really?
yeah, so it's a little bit different of an experience. Whereas Three Caballeros has been the same
Same
for
thing, yeah.
how long. Yeah, I think
I
I go
love the
with
Living with the Land. I think it's one of my top 5 favorite rides. As sad as that is, I just really enjoy it. Even though I know what they're going to say every time, and I think their videos need an overhaul, I just love looking at all the plants and everything.
Could you imagine like doing that ride at 20 though? Like I'd be like,
but what are we doing here? Like, I want to go home. You guys are killing me.
now I'm dragging people to it.
Well, you guys gotta try this. All right, and the last one for right here in round 2, we have Mission Space versus Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, I think Spaceship Earth, even with an overhaul, Spaceship Earth is way better. The nostalgia factor, it is the weenus of the park.
It is a weenus. I don't
Did
even
you
know
ever look that? You never even looked that up? You're killing
yeah,
me.
your elbow. That's your New Jersey education. Yeah, I love Spaceship Earth. As clunky as it is, and a little bit outdated. Obviously, that's why they're updating it, but it's still such a fun ride.
Yeah, I agree completely. All right, so moving on into the Sweet 16, we have Thunder Mountain versus Rock and Roller Coaster. We have Toy Story and Mania versus the winner of Expedition Everest or Flight of Passage. Cali River Rapids and Space Mountain, excuse me. We'll need that to a vote. The winner of that will face off against the Kilimanjaro Safaris. We need your guys' vote for Carousel of Progress versus Dumbo. The winner of that will take on Frozen. Then over to the other side of the bracket, we have Buzz going up against the winner of Rise of Resistance or Haunted Mansion. Then we have Tower of Terror going against Pirates. Splash Mountain going up against either People Mover or the Railroad. And then we have Living with the Land going up against Spaceship Earth.
Can we tell people that haven't been on Rise of Resistance not to vote?
You can, you just can't stop them.
It's true. I have no power.
You have no power to stop them. Look at me and be like, no, I don't believe you were on it. Show me pictures.
It just kills me because you see like Disney fans that could care less about Star Wars getting off that thing and being like, "Oh my God, is that right? Amazing." I don't see anybody getting off the Haunted Mansion being like blown away by it.
I will say I felt that way about Flight of Passage. I wasn't the biggest Avatar fan, but when I got off that ride, I was like, wow.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
that was amazing.
And
I
you don't
did
need to
get
ever see Avatar to enjoy it. It's just like it could be a ride
Yeah,
on its own.
very true. Very. Speaking of that, did you hear that they're almost ready with their second movie?
Yeah, they've actually filmed the next 3 at the same
Yeah.
time. So I guess they're all going to be done at once, and then they're going to come out like consecutive years.
Well, that'll be smart and not wait like 13 years in between movies, because I mean, like literally you need to spend 3 hours and go watch the original movie before you go watch the new one, in my opinion.
Especially if it's got the same actors, you don't run into that Star Wars factor where like they age so much between movies where you got to count that in as well. I'm boy, I don't know. I think Disney put a lot of expectations into Avatar, and I don't think it's going to be as big as the original.
No. No, and I think there's too much of a gap now. I think that movie lost its steam. Speaking of Pandora, though, did you see Disney had its first wedding in Pandora?
I did see that. I wonder what
Looked
that cost.
gorgeous. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you, when I was looking at getting married in Disney, we wanted to do the railroad on Main Street at night,
That'd be cool.
and I believe to just rent the railroad space at night after the park was closed started at 50,000.
Yeah, some of the prices when we set up the meetup last November, I was looking at like little add-ons because you could add on a ton of stuff.
I'm sure you can.
One of the add-ons was characters, and I think like
Not worth it.
it's like $5,000 for a character for 45 minutes, and you can only do it if you're doing an after-hours event because there can't be regular guests around.
Yeah.
$5,000.
What is the restaurant right next to Turtle Crush?
Coral Reef.
So underneath Coral Reef, they have like a banquet room with the
I think it's
aquarium
above
is.
Coral Reef.
Or is it above Coral? Whichever
Yeah.
one it is, either above or that's where my sister had her reception for her wedding. She got married in front of the fountain in France, and then that's where we had that. She was supposed to have a scuba diving Mickey,
That's kind of
but
cool.
something happened with the scuba gear, so they sent her Donald and Daisy and Chip and Dale all dressed up in like wedding stuff. It was really cool. And then I found out like that Scuba Mickey was $5,000 for 20 or 30 minutes.
And it goes on a sliding scale according to how rare they are. So like the $5,000 was for like old school original Mickey in the red and yellow.
Okay.
So as you go up and get like Dumbo or something, even if they offer Dumbo, it gets higher and higher.
I wonder what it would cost for like Darkwing Duck.
I don't know. Like
Because
once I even heard Mickey, I was like, no.
He's come out. The only time I know Darkwing Duck to come out, and he was my favorite, little cartoon sketch growing up. That was he comes out for I think the Moonlight, DVC Moonlight.
Yeah.
For a couple of the DVC Moonlights he's been.
I think I've got a picture with him.
Like, I would love to see some of these characters. I told Lindsay that's the only reason why I would ever want to become a DVC member. Not that I don't think DVC is great, but we own timeshares as it is, so owning DVC is pointless to us because we can literally go to a DVC hotel with our points anyway. But I would want to go to the events, and that was my one thing when I always tell people about buying DVC resale. You don't get that. And if that's a factor in buying, that's a problem.
That is a pretty big thing because I've been to a number of DVC events just because we have friends that invite us. That reminds me of the old school like special ticket event because it is very quiet. The parks aren't slammed.
Oh, so like hard ticket events when before like Disney became bananas.
Yeah, before they started like overselling it.
Yeah.
Because like, boy, the villains one is like $145 for the night.
Lindsay wants to do that. You're packed. Yeah, it's packed because everybody wants villains.
Yeah, and if you go to a DVC event, it's super quiet. They feed you an actual dinner. So I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, it's not steak.
Yeah, but still, hey. Yeah,
and then you get like free snacks through the night.
Yeah, don't you get free ice cream bars and sodas and water and everything? Like, that's awesome.
Those events are amazing, and some of the characters they bring out, like I saw Jiminy. When we did Animal Kingdom, I think I saw Darkwing Duck and Jiminy Cricket. We did one at Hollywood. I saw like Sweetums. You never see
Wow,
Sweetums.
yeah.
And Oswald and Clarabelle. So they bring
Okay.
out some like real old school critters out there. But boy, that feels like when you're there at a DVC event, you feel like Disney is taking care of you. So yeah, I know DVC is expensive, so people are like, oh well, they should take care of you, but that's still over the top the way they do it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them.
I mean, they have the costumes. I'm shocked they don't bring them out more. I'm not saying make them a regular basis thing, but I'm shocked that you don't see them a little bit more. Steve brings up a good point. He goes, you can always buy minimum points from Disney to get the perks and then buy the rest of your points resale. Yeah, like there's always little loopholes with it. And listen, I think DVC was a great thing 10 years ago. I think if you got in, I remember when I started looking at DVC. Me too. Put it this way. I have the booklet they originally sent me. And I had to be, oh geez. I mean, I'm 20, I'm maybe 30. This had to be like 9 years ago. I was still living at home. I had money and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy DVC points. So I called up Disney, sent me the pack. They wanted $19,000 for 120 points at Poly. And I was like, wow, that's great. Poly sells for 35,000 now.
Yeah.
Like, what? And here's the one thing, the biggest thing I don't like. These things are deeded. Yeah. So when that deed runs out, and we haven't had a deed run out yet, so no one knows. I mean, yeah, Disney's probably going to try and resell it back to you at a discount. But once again, you have to now pay for another deed. Or Disney can simply say, like, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. No, I don't think they would ever. I think you're going to get the beginning part of the ladder saying, hey, we're going to resell it back to you. But
I think it's going to depend on like how busy it is when that happens. Like if it's in a lot of demand, they may hardball you. If they're looking to get rid of it, they may take care of you.
And that's why I like dealing with RCA and dealing with other the other places like that, because once you buy it. That's it, and you can will it away. We got stuff willed to us, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, we have RCI property in Kissimmee. We have a Vacation Village, and it cost us next to nothing.
What'd you buy into? For how much was it when you bought in?
We got it from an aunt. There was an aunt that had it that never used it, and I was like, hey, can we use it one time just to go down there? And she's like, listen, if you want it, I'll give it to you for $3,000.
That's a steal.
Well, it's like, I don't know if you know the point values with RCI, but it's I think we have 92,000 points a year.
Nice. Okay.
And then they always have the deal where you could just get a week and not even use your points. It's like $230.
You usually get your 1 week a year, whatever your week is.
We have 2 weeks for the February. But we don't use February. It. We just we go whenever we want to go and use the points. So we did 12 trips last year. And I would say even with my maintenance fees and whatever I paid for that, whatever, I don't think we spent more than $2,500 last year for 12 vacations.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is like 2 full-size apartments. I mean, this is like hot tub and king-size bed on each side, and full kitchen, full dining room. So yeah, it's tough. I'm staying on Disney property in April, and then I'm also going to stay in property in November. Actually, I wanted to mention that real quick.
Yeah, good.
If you want to go and join the block of rooms of the Crazy for Disney group, we are going to throw in one lucky person who joins that block is going to get free tickets to the whatever party we decide to do. Which they're very high in demand. When we do those things, they just sell out. So I mean, we gave one to you guys for
auction. Yeah, you gave us 2 tickets when we auctioned off for Give Kids the World.
They went for like $400 or $500.
Yeah,
ridiculous. So
yeah, people wanted to go.
Get a hold of Kingdom Destinations. Let them know you're interested in going down for the Crazy for Disney block in November. You can stay with me. Well, you won't be staying with me.
No, you can stay with them. No, you sharing a room. You get to sleep on his sofa.
Nobody wants to be in a room with me. Trust me.
Where are you staying? Have you figured it out yet?
I think it's set up for music, which I've never done a value. So I'm just kind of like, I'll try it.
If your goal is to never be in the room, if you're the type of person where you're just looking for a head on a pillow, yeah, absolutely. Value all day. If you're someone who likes to hang around a hotel, I don't recommend value. I mean, people are like, oh, but what about pop? What about art of animation? Yeah, but go look at art of animation and go look at pop prices right now. You could stay at a moderate for $25 more a night. And I'll tell you what, as much as I love the deluxes, I really love the moderates.
Well, if you're a big guy like us, like even Art of Animation, I can remember staying in that Little Mermaid room,
Well, they're
and
full size beds.
you got to go sideways to get between the beds and the dressing.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean,
it's no
it's not a
joke.
lot of room.
No, and you know what it is? I don't have any kids. My sister has kids, but we never go on really vacation with the kids. There's just something about like, cause I don't wake up at 6 in the morning to go, out and about. I wake up 6 in the morning every day. I don't need to be up at 6 in the morning at Disney. Me and Lindsay go. We had a couple days where we slept in, maybe till like 9, but most days we're up at like 7:30. There is nothing like quarter after 6 when they're screaming and walking out in the hall, or worse is when you just want a cup of coffee. Me and Lindsay do not do well in the morning without our coffee. And I don't even drink caffeinated coffee. I drink decaf, okay, people? And you walk into there and all I want is a cup of coffee and like maybe a cronut or something. And these kids are just sprinting around. I'm like, why do you have so much energy?
Yeah, I can remember staying because we haven't stayed in a Disney resort in a year, maybe a
Okay.
little over a year. And yeah, those kids are like so cracked up in the morning, ready to roll. I'm like, just go to bed. Just
I'm
go
like, what
back
are
to
you
bed for a
doing?
while.
I know you're at Disney, but geez, calm down.
Yeah, Rise of
And
the Resistance has ruined my mornings though, because I'm like you. I like to sleep in and kind of
yeah,
go at my own pace, but I gotta be up early for that stupid Rise of the Resistance.
me and Lindsay
Oh,
were talking about for 2021, because I'm gonna probably get an annual pass because I want to come do things with you while I'm down there. And the thing is, man, and it's sad because you look behind me, all Disney stuff. We run, arguably the number 2 Disney podcast on the internet. It's not arguably, it's facts. We are the second biggest show. We've got accolades to prove it. Um,
but we don't get any love from Disney.
no, we don't get any love from Disney, but that's fine. Yeah, people with like 3 followers have media passes, but we
We're
get
gonna make it
blackballed.
happen. I
But
gotta say
anyway,
something real quick before you
yeah,
continue. Jim says it's at movies.
movies. Okay.
All Star movies. Sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah, I'll pop that up there. Where was I going with this? Oh, I'm enjoying going to Disney less and less. And it's simply and people can railroad me for it. It's just the crowds, man. Like, I don't like being around a lot of people. And you know what it is? You pay so much to get into a park that I'm like one of these people where I'm like, okay, what is the value of today? Okay, today it cost me $86. Okay, when the day's over, did I feel I got $86 worth of value? And most
See,
days I don't. And I'm so low key when it comes to Disney. Like, I just want to eat. I love walking around the stores. I like just walking the park, stopping, relaxing, taking pictures. Like, I'll go on small rides if there's no wait, but like I tell you, if it's more than a 25-minute wait, I don't care. I mean, there's very few rides I'll wait. I mean, I'll use fast passes for what I want, but if it's more than 25 minutes, I'll look at Lindsay and be like, "Yo, like I'm not doing that."
yeah, I mean, you definitely have to. Your vacation's not the same anymore. Like a Disney
No.
vacation now is not the same as it was 10 years ago. So you either have to go and like I've gone and morphed it into something different. So I still enjoy it the same. I don't like
Yeah, I shouldn't say I don't enjoy the trip. It's just enjoyed very differently. I can enjoy
very
the trip
enjoy.
I enjoy the trip way more outside of the park. Like when we were there, we stayed at Wilderness Lodge, which I want to get into a show one day about Wilderness Lodge because I hated it. But they have a wonderful restaurant right on the water. We had dinner there a couple times just because, like, why not? Like, it's something outside of the park. But we had lunch there the one day, and the goal was, all right, let's just get lunch and let's just go back to the room and get changed. We'll go out. We got lunch. We sat by the water, had a couple drinks, found out there was cornhole next to us. We played like 4 games of cornhole. Next thing it was like 5 hours later. And I was like, and it was one of the happiest times of that trip. I was like, oh, this is great. Like we literally just sat on chairs overlooking the water. It wasn't ridiculously hot. And we just drank and had a good time.
I think that depends on like how much you've been there because like
Very true.
years ago, like I couldn't even imagine spending any time in a hotel when the parks were open. I feel like you got to be
Yeah.
there a rope drop and you got to be there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now it's like, oh, I'll go for a couple hours in the morning. I'll go back, I'll go and
Yeah.
eat, catch the fireworks. It's definitely you got to change up your vacation after a while. And the way the parks are now and how busy they are, I mean, the new people coming in there, they must be so frustrated.
I'd be so pissed. Think about it. If you had went when you were a kid and you had the idea of this and you weren't a Disney fanatic like we were, you know, and you turn around and you haven't been to Disney and say, we'll go by Jim, saying, 10 years, or we'll go by Taryn saying since 2014. You're talking about even 2014, 6 years ago. Let's just round it up and call 10. If you had went in 2010 and that was your last time, and you see all these great things on the internet, all these new rides and restaurants, and you go in 2020, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's
You're
a
talking
different
about double to
experience.
triple your price.
I mean, if you've been on a million rides already, if you've been on Haunted Mansion 1,000 times, it's not a big deal. But if like you got to get these rides in on your trip, one way or the other, like you got to stuff every ride in. I don't even know how you do it unless you're there for like 3 weeks. You're
Yeah.
gonna be very disappointed. I mean, the parks are super busy. I go with the flow. If one park's busy, I swing over to another park. I don't stress about fast passes or I'll even spend a day just people watching.
Yeah.
But the
But
park
it's
is
different
different now.
because you have an annual pass, though.
Yeah, I mean, but if
It-
you look at like, I'll go through pictures, like, because we post a lot of stuff on the Behind the Ears podcast page or the Crazy for Disney page, and I'll scroll through like old pictures to post up, and you can even see from the pictures like the crowd level each year seems to get like a little busier, and a little busier.
yeah.
I got
Like,
stuff from, like 2012 looks like a ghost town.
oh yeah. I remember when you'd be like, "Oh, this is the slow time. Look at everybody."
Yeah,
So like, let me see if I can do per day. I don't want the 4-day magic ticket. I just want to select a 1-day ticket. All right. Well, anyway, I don't know what it was Joe was trying to do, but I went back and I looked up ticket prices, and these were based on August 5th of 2010. Entry level for an entry to the park was $79 for an adult.
that's for one day ticket.
One day ticket was $79 for a one way. And put it this way. Okay, so for a 4-day Magic Your Way base with a park hopper was $225. What is it right now? I'm trying to click on it, but it's not running. There we go.
Well, I mean, they're
Uh,
smart. They've set it up where you have to get like 4 or 5 days minimum to make it worth your while.
Yeah, like I'm trying to match it up directly because that said it was August 5th. So we'll go August 5th, which is so okay. So back then it would have been 225 for sorry, 277 with the park hopper for a 4-day magic.
It's
Take a
nice.
guess what it is now.
Peter says it's 498.
I have 405 pre-tax.
Really?
So 431 after tax. And that's with that's with the water park and NBA experience. That's not with that's not even the park hopper one. Whoo, yeah, so close to probably $500.
Who's
You're
worried
talking,
about the NBA experience?
yeah,
Though?
right. You're talking about the prices doubled.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gotten very expensive, and I think about that when I'm in Disney. It's just like these people coming for like once every 5 years or whatever. The stress level and the aggravation's got to be through the roof. Because I
Yeah.
still get a little stressed. I'll catch myself. I'll be like,
Oh yeah.
when the park's super busy, get a little annoyed. And they're like, you know what? We're in Disney.
Yeah, calm
Let's go sit down, get
down.
something
Yeah.
to eat, watch some
Lindsay
people.
knows when like I need to get like water or like when I was a smoker heavy and she's like, okay, you need a cigarette because like I'm getting mad. I'm like, stop. You're just looking at your map and walking. What are you
Yeah.
dumb? Like get off your phones, people. Like and then like other times, let's just sit on a bench and relax. Like, and that's I think why I started to really fall in love with Epcot because I think Epcot is a dump.
It's quiet there now. I mean, we've
Epcot's a dump, but they first of all, Epcot needs more shade. Holy moly, can you put some shade around World Showcase? But it's just nice just grabbing a bite to eat and just chilling. Like, and I don't need to go to fancy restaurants while I'm there because you know what? Like, we go to fancy restaurants when we're home, and I spend half the price for just as fancy.
Le though. I gotta hit Le
Oh yeah, absolutely. We like all right. So Le Cellier is your favorite. When we go, we have to hit the boathouse. That's our date night.
That's
We
a
always
good one
go
too.
Love the boathouse.
I eat cheap when I'm there though because they have one of
Do
the
you?
greatest deals ever over there. It's called the filet sliders.
Okay.
They're $15 and you get like 2 good sized chunks of filet on a sandwich.
Wow.
It's like insane.
Well, we
For
paid
Disney anyway.
Yeah, we paid like $25 for an appetizer of a crab cake. It was worth every penny. It was delicious. We got the oyster Rockefeller and we got like the specialty sauce. Like we were licking the bottom of the bowl when we were done. I was like, I don't even care what it because it says market price. And I didn't ask. And she's like, you're not worried? I'm like, I don't care. These were so good. Charge me $100. I don't care.
I love being there at night, like out on the outside area.
Yes,
watching
you
boat
have to
cruises.
sit out there.
Beautiful.
Anytime we go there, we're like, we want to sit outside. Like I do not. I would like to really do the clam bar they have out there. That seems like a lot of fun.
Would you ever do those cars?
No.
Aside from like the panicky side, like you don't want to sink.
Oh, yeah. I think
look
they look
at-
really. Here's the thing, though. I thought you got to drive them, and then I found out you didn't, and I was like, huh. Well, that seems kind of stupid.
Could you imagine a couple of idiots like us driving up
Wait,
things?
but they let you take the boats out. They let you rent pontoon boats, the little speed boats. So what's different? This boat just has a fiberglass body on it.
I actually saw somebody when I was there last time that got yelled at by the Baywatch police over there because
Really?
he was like cutting off the ferry boat. What is this idiot doing? Yeah,
He's living his
I
best
can't.
dream. Matt says, "Hey, Danny, the valleys have all been redone better than they used to." I was there. I stayed at Music a year ago, and they were redoing the rooms, but I was not in any of the redone rooms. And listen, you can only, like in sports, you can only paint those helmets and everything before they get tired again. I love the fact that they're redoing the rooms, and I think that's a huge factor of it. But at the end of the day, you still feel like you're at a Holiday Inn and you paid triple
Yeah,
what a
I'm gonna
Holiday
say
Inn
that
costs.
because we're really honest with our Disney stuff, and that's probably
Yeah,
what gets us in trouble.
probably. That's
No,
why they hate me.
yeah, I mean nobody does property and lobbies and stuff better than Disney, but I mean by a mile.
By a mile.
But those rooms, like they kind of rest on their laurels and just assume you're gonna love being in the bubble and enjoying the lobby because those rooms are usually not comfortable until you get like deluxe or
Yeah.
moderate.
Moderate, yeah. Not all the moderates though.
No, we took the we were was it French Quarter that
So
has the
dark in
princess
there.
rooms.
Yes, Princess and the
Yeah,
Frog.
and,
Yeah.
and even those rooms were kind of dingy. They didn't look
Very,
great.
yeah.
They were a little
Well,
beat up.
the number one thing you always want to know, and you watch any show about hotels or you just know anything about traveling as much as I have, white linen goes a good distance. White linen makes a room look bigger, looks brighter, looks cleaner. And Disney does a great job with their white linen, but then they put these stupid duvet covers on them that are from like 1995. And I'm
What is
like,
a duvet cover?
that little strip on the bottom of the bed, like the decorative strip that you always just kick off. And
You sound so
you are
ridiculous
you
right
are not educated at all. It is unbelievable.
between the weenus and the duvet covers.
Do
I
you
don't even
just
know what
like?
I'm talking
I could just see you walking around Disney in like Daisy Duke jean cutoffs that you cut yourself, and like a tuxedo shirt, but like, I'm here to party. Like
I mean, we talked about that Cali.
exactly. That's all I ever think about.
It was so bad. I look like such a hillbilly that day.
And before we wrap up, I want to bring up something like this because we were just talking about it, and I have two things I want to talk about. So, the extra magic hours, not worth it anymore because now it all is extra magic hours in the mornings. They barely ever give you nighttime stuff anymore.
And people are Disney excuse makers. Like you always hear them say, "Oh, it was so quiet." I've been to these things. They are not quiet. Just be honest. I mean, you're not getting on the rides like you used to. When you have that extra hour in the morning and the extra hour at night, it's still pretty busy.
Rudy thought the duvet cover was a pool towel.
I literally have no idea what that
Chris
was.
wants that to be the new T-shirt of the day.
It could have been like a doily or something. I don't even know what a duvet.
We need a picture of a cartoon Rudy in like his bathing suit having like a duvet cover carrying him around. Yeah, you know what? Trisha, you're right. How can I expect anything? This man dresses up a rock, calls it Rapunzel, and carries it through the park.
You know what? I'm going to get you down there one of these days and get a picture of you and Rapunzel together.
I promise you one thing, and I am a man of my word. If that rock comes anywhere near me, that rock is gone. I am chucking it in the closest body of water, and I'm letting the gators get to it.
I had one of the funniest experiences. Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We ate in the castle. This was so bad. When I first started bringing that thing around, I didn't have I bring like a repair kit now. I bring like crazy glue. It's so ridiculous. But at the time, I bought it like a little a Mickey hat. It was like an antenna topper, and it fell off just before we got there. So I'm like, geez, I gotta get this thing back on. So I had like cinnamon gum. So I chewed up a piece of cinnamon gum real quick and MacGyvered that hat back on. And we're getting pictures with the princesses as they went to the table. And I gave it to Snow White. And Snow White brought that thing up to her mouth and kissed it. And all I'm thinking about is like that gum with the drool coming up. I felt so bad.
Excuse me, sir. Your rock is wet.
That picture up tomorrow because I felt so bad for that.
There's another shirt for next week. I have a picture of Rapunzel with just like drool hanging off.
It's so bad. I felt so bad for that poor woman.
I've been seeing a lot of people posting all about obviously the coronavirus or whatever the other terminology for it is, and oh my god, I've got a trip in this time. I got a trip this time. Is this going to be open? Is that going to be open? Listen, as of right now, the best information is we literally. Sorry, I just saw someone literally before I said the coronavirus said about the spit being coronavirus. That was funny. Right now, the best information we have
Probably where it
is
started.
yeah, right. Rudy's gum. Ooh, the rock smells like cinnamon. All right, enough with the jokes, people. I can't. This is serious. Serious face. As of right now, everything's staying open. They have closed 3 Disney parks, but everything in the US, is staying open. Something to keep in the back of your pockets for anybody traveling between now and, the foreseeable future. As of like 40 minutes before we came on the show, all state universities inside Florida are being shut down and they're going to be doing work from home. There is a major health issue inside of Florida right now. This is not a scare tactic by Rudy or myself to be like, don't go on your trip. Like that's not where it's just take precautions, do what you have to do, and just be mindful. If your health isn't the best, that's why vacation insurance comes in handy. If you don't, I'm sure Disney will work with you guys. I can't guarantee that. Don't be like, hey, Uncle Danny and the Dingus told us you'll refund my trip. Never said that. But I'm pretty sure that Disney has something in plans, to try to figure out what the heck's going on. As of right now, everything is open. I hate to play this game. Do you foresee either Disneyland or Disney World closing their doors?
I don't think they would do it unless it was like
State mandatory,
government
yeah.
pressure on them. I'm not taking this. I'm not getting worried about this thing. If you look at like the death toll compared to how many people have it, it's so small. You've got a better chance getting killed in your car, and people happily jump in their car every day. I think people are panicking a little bit, and I don't want to make light of it either because people have lost their lives, and that's always an awful thing. But I think there is a little bit of fear mongering going on for like your average person like us. The mortality rate is next to nothing.
Yeah.
So we booked a trip the end of this month on top of the one we have in April.
Well, flights are ridiculously cheap too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stress about it. And I will say that we had a trip to Universal this month, and we decided to change it up, and we booked it through Kingdom Destinations. The original one we had was a package deal where you have to pay for it all up front.
Yeah.
And you can't cancel it within 30 days of your travel date. And they came out with like a 40% off deal. And Kingdom Destinations was able to cancel it for us and get the new deal. So they're being very lenient. They know what's going on. They're not going to purposely try to like stick it to somebody.
No, absolutely not.
Because Disney or these places, they know you're a lifelong customer. They don't want to give you that one bad experience and maybe turn you off for 15, 20 years down the road.
The way it is, they don't want.
Yeah. So I would say if you're going down there and you're in good health, if you're 80 and you're sickly, I would say, then get nervous about it. But if you're the average person who has no health conditions, wash your hands. Obviously, wash your hands and keep things
hygiene
clean.
Usually goes a long way.
Yeah, don't walk into Winnie the Pooh and start licking the honey wall.
Did you see that little girl licking the wall, the glass?
God.
Oh man, I want to screenshot that and
so bad.
Put it on a T-shirt. She's my hero.
Yeah, I mean, just be smart. If you're gonna go and handle like railings and stuff, go and wash your hands afterwards. Don't sit there and like pick your nose and rub your lips like Danny does. I mean, make sure you're staying clean.
I'm gonna be pretty much where Rudy's at. All I will say is, if you do have a trip in the future, just keep an eye on it, only because a lot of people are coming out and you don't really know who to believe, whether it's a pandemic or if it's just media just trying to freak everybody out and watching Lysol stock skyrocket and people selling $50 toys rolls of toilet paper on Amazon. But if this goes the way that is going, where they think it's going to go, we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet. I mean, you got to look at how quickly China shut down, and I mean the entire basically country of Italy shut down. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. Let's all say a novena, say a prayer, knock on wood, whatever you do, wear your pajamas inside out. Just hope to goodness that this doesn't happen. But just be prepared. That's the biggest thing. Good hygiene and just be prepared.
Let's wear your pajamas inside out.
You never did that as a kid? Wear your pajamas inside out so it snows on snow days?
No.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Sorry, we were raised like an animal.
Anyway.
I'll tell you what I can tell you. Jeez. You got anything else for the masses here?
Now, I would just tell everybody, make sure you go over to Kingdom Destinations, check out the deal we've got going on with the room blocks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our meetups are amazing. I'm kind of sad that Uncle Danny won't be there this year. We'll get him there in 2021 somehow.
I'll be
When
there.
is your wedding's at the end of the year, right? This year?
December 5th of 2020.
When?
December 5th.
Oh, December 5th.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check them out. These guys are amazing over there. I haven't used a travel agent in probably 6 years, and I've used them for a couple things in the past week, and they've been amazing. I'm like, oh, I forgot how much easier this is and how stress-free it is. So, make sure you go over there. We've got a thing at the top of the page over at Crazy for Disney where you can basically just go and let them know what you need and what you want. You're not locked into anything. They'll let you know. They'll give you a quote, let you know what you're looking at, and then you make your decision from there. But these guys are on top of things for us. They're making these meetups so much less stressful for me, which is always a good thing. 'Cause I'm old.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I don't want to have a heart attack or anything. I can't be dealing with this.
We need to watch your health. And the other thing, obviously, don't forget, this is all free. Their services are free. They don't charge you anything. So something definitely good to think about. With that being said, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram is Behind the Ears Podcast. Twitter is Behind the Ears PC. Any listener questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email us at behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, like Rudy said, planning a trip anytime soon, or maybe you're going to that meetup and you want a hassle-free trip, head on over to Kingdom Destinations and get yourself set up. With that being said, I hope you all have a safe and wonderful evening, a great rest of your week. Don't forget to watch the pages for the votes, and please, if you did not ride Rise of the Resistance, do not vote for it. With that being said, tuck your kids in tight, wear your seatbelts, and for God's sakes, people, just wash your hands. It's that simple. I am Uncle Danny. I'll see you later.
Have a great night, guys.